What's going on, guys? I'm gonna do a video. I guess we'd call this tailgate talk. First one of these I'm doing on a tripod, so sun's setting. I know the light's not the best, but hopefully it'll be okay. For the first time fisherman, I know that the tackle store can be a really daunting place. You know, you walk in there and there are 10 million different lures that look like 10 million different things, and the choices are overwhelming. You don't know even where to start. I hope this video helps with that. We're going to talk about crappie fishing primarily, but I'm getting an old handy dandy backpack out here to show you guys a couple of things. Even though there are tons and tons of options, there are just two things that most any lure in the tackle shop can be categorized as, okay? Your lures in the tackle shop are either made to imitate a crawdad. We call them crawdads here. Maybe you call them crayfish or something like that. We call them crawdads here. They're made to either imitate a crawdad, or they're made to imitate a fish, a small fish, because that's what fish eat. They eat crawdads and smaller fish. So, now, I'm not sponsored by anybody, and these particular items, these particular brands, I like them, so I use them, but I'm not sponsored by these people. I getting paid anything, and this is just to make a general point, okay? Here's an example of a lure that imitates a fish. There you go. You see how I'm going to try to get this over here to where you can kind of see the body of that thing there. You see that nice long tail right there? That thing wiggles in the water. You know, this imitates a minnow, and really I'm going to turn it to where you can see it. Like, I know this turned the package upside down, but try to get that dude separated just a little bit. There we go. So right there, you can see these things are kind of there. Try to get these all the way separated. There we go. All right, so right there, there is your minnow imitation. Has the long tail. So minnow imitation right here, long tail. That thing does a lot of action in the water. You put that on a 1/16 ounce jig head, and the fish love it. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by any particular thing. That happened to be a Bobby Garland. I love Bobby Garland. They work well, in my opinion. Use whatever brand you want. And the minnow, the jig heads I use are these right here. You know, and they're shaped, well, if I can get this in there close enough for you guys to see, they're shaped like a minnow. That's a 1/16 ounce jig head, okay? The other thing, okay, so like I said before, if it's not looking like a minnow, it's gonna look like a crayfish. Crayfish, a lot of people think of crawdads with the big pinchers. When we're talking about crappie fishing, it's basically anything that has tentacles. You could almost say it looks kind of like a shrimp, but this right here is a good example of a crayfish imitation for a crappie. Kind of get those separated out there. See that? That comes pre-rigged on a 1/32 ounce jig head. This one here does. But that right there, I'm gonna put the backer up on that. There you go. So, all tackle boils down to either you're imitating a fish or a crayfish, crawdad, little shrimp, some little tentacled critter of some sort. Those are your two major categories that most any bait's gonna fit in. So when you go to the tackle shop, what I recommend is pick yourself out something, one thing that looks like a minnow, and one thing that has tentacles, looks like some sort of a crayfish. Start with those two, all right? And if you will do that, if you will start with those two, you'll have a lot of success. So take care, tight lines. God bless. Hope this helped.